again, everyone, and just thank you for joining another live session. So myself, Sara, Om and Novi, we're part of the group, and we run this sort of live session every fortnight. So appreciate you all joining us today. So thank you again. So for today's session, just to let you know, today's topic we have is Beyond Silos, Stories of Cross-Sector Collaboration. That's our topic for today. So this in today's session, we just gonna the session will explore how leaders from different sectors, public, private, NGO, grassroots, break down barriers, share resources, and work together to create lasting impact. So you'll hear some real life examples of collaborative initiatives, perhaps from our special guest we have today, Angela Dawson. So that's our topic. So myself, just quick intro about myself. I'm Sara Shrestha. I'm a certified life coach. Professionally, I've been in IT for 20 plus years, in various roles. So as an IT executive as well. So I'm currently a business entrepreneur. Looking after a few different businesses. So that's quickly about myself. So today we have Om joining us from India, some parts of India. So he's traveling at the moment. So he's with us. So he was able to join us today. So he's also here with us. So yeah, so that's the quick intro. So I just want to quickly acknowledge, uh, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on today and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So thanks for that. As we have, mostly do, so before we dive into our session today, I just want to take a brief moment to arrive fully in this space. So if I can invite you guys all to just sit comfortably wherever you are and let your shoulders relax. And if it feels right for you, you may gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze. So if I can ask you to just take a slow, deep breathe in and just exhale gently. Feel the weight of your body supported by the chair or the ground, wherever you're sitting right now. Notice any sounds around you, just observing without any judgment. Now, bring your attention to how your body feels in this moment. Allow any tension to soften as you take one more deep breath in and a slow exhale. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and bring your focus back to the session. So thank you. So now on to just our next. So just want to quickly introduce our guest for today's session. We have our beautiful guest, Angela Dawson. So she's a professor of public health with expertise in maternal and reproductive health service delivery to priority populations in Australia and lower middle income countries, and the Associate Dean of Research in the Faculty of Health, University of Technology, Sydney. She led the reproductive theme in the Women and Children's Health collaborative at the UTS Research Institute, Insight, which she established in 2023, that seeks co-designed multidisciplinary solutions to complex issues in partnership with consumers and communities. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
So good to have you, and thank you for joining us today.
My
So we're just
pleasure.
gonna, yeah, it's our pleasure as well. So we're just gonna have a, quick conversation with yourself. So I just want to quickly start by asking you, I understand you, from your experience, you've worked in different sectors. So from your experience, what are the key challenges and opportunities when working across different sectors like universities, government, NGOs, and grassroots communities? So what are the key challenges you've experienced and opportunities that you've come across?
Thank you. That's a massive question. Before I dive in, I'd just like to acknowledge I'm on Gadigal land here at UTS in Sydney, lands of the Eora Nation. So, and thank you very much for having me. I suppose just to preface my response, I would say that my goal, I'm an academic, so I'm also a community member in my own community, but in my professional life, I am consumed by a bit of management, but research and teaching my PhD students. And I suppose my primary goal is to ensure that all I do is in collaboration. It's a partnership that benefits people, and those people can be consumers of healthcare and the communities, the families and the communities they reside in. And then all that sort of the bottom up approach and top down and a crosswise approach is important as well, because of course we also need to consider that policy and organizational sort of perspective. Because although, from me working in the university and people working in the community, we need to consider that bigger picture. But I suppose
Yeah.
what I am absolutely committed to is really getting to those meaningful and relevant questions. They need to be
Mm.
built from the community. Yes, they might be identified in policy and in organizations, but those policies and organizations serve consumers and communities. So they need to be meaningful and they need to be
Yeah.
at the heart of the needs of community people. And I suppose another part of what I'm focused in on is, because I'm a researcher, is building research capacity at all of those levels, but primarily to ensure that people in communities and NGOs
Mm.
are building skills and expertise as part of a research project, because everyone has a role to play in research. It is not just the purview of
Yeah.
someone like Wenkin and I in our necessary institutions, but it's across sectors and it's across disciplines. And, I mean, we've got emerging transdisciplinary approaches. So the challenges, Sarah, are enormous.
Yeah.
But yes, there are lots of ways we can mitigate those. So, of course, within academia, I've got, academia prioritizes publications and grants.
Mm.
Um, whereas NGOs are focused on service delivery, and communities, they want their stuff right now. They don't want to be waiting for some cycle of research that's in a higher education institution. So I suppose the opportunity there would be for people to actually, just like your mindfulness exercise, which I loved, by the way, at the beginning of the session, is for people to actually take a moment to reflect on what are our sort of different agendas and pressures. Because within that space, that gives us an opportunity to co-create a shared purpose where we can
Mm.
satisfy
Mm.
the success metrics that are key to all. Um, So I think that's really about sitting down and talking and working that out. But within that picture, there's all sorts of challenges, linked to that. Funding cycles are different. Community needs, I said, are meaningful, are immediate. So we need to set realistic expectations. One of the great challenges that we must navigate is the power imbalances that lie in research, where often academics, and I'm ashamed to say this, but we are working very hard to make sure that we mitigate this, where they dominate, or NGOs, sort of agendas can dominate and override community kind of input, which might come at a later stage. So I think we need to navigate through those challenges and build flexibility into our research work. And that links to the sort of decision-making elements in research. Who decides what and when must be navigated, must be set up front. And people's status and power needs to be flattened, if you like. Of course, that's not always, we can't, it's
that's
very
true.
difficult. Yeah, very difficult to do that. But also in terms like funding, that sort of, I have immense pressure, and I apply that pressure too to get funding for my researchers. They must bring in income. But and we expect people to come along on that journey with us. So if we think about community, for example, there are a lot of hidden costs there with community engagement in research that we researchers often do not, think about, aren't cognizant of. So we need to be building that into our grants. And I suppose that also relates to things such as, and thankfully, Indigenous peoples have brought this forward around data sovereignty and who owns what data. We're gathering very sensitive material, really important knowledge for communities, because communities, not researchers, they don't understand what's going on in the community. Their job is to facilitate and elicit that, but share that data and make sure that that data is owned by communities as well. And in research, we've got this this major tradition. It is changing, and I'm very grateful for person-centered care models and movements that have led the way, or people-centered approaches, and co-design movements and participatory action research movements have changed this considerably. Is to actually add your not just the service providers, but the community members on our grants, in our publications, or at least ask them, invite people to participate. And if they don't, we're making sure that we acknowledge them. But I think those are sort of some of the main kind of challenges, bar the things such as communication and translation, making sure that we navigate different literacy levels in research, and make sure that the way in which we evaluate things and disseminate knowledge is in accessible and in plain English, and valuable to our end users. So there's no point me creating a which there is a point for me. I'm going to write an article in a peer-reviewed journal because I definitely want to share that. But it is also my responsibility to make sure that I share that in infographics, in actually just, I've got I'll tell you a little bit about it in a minute, a parenting program. And I had my national expert panel meeting. And someone said, "Hey, Angela, could you just please, we really want to make this we want to take up this program, but you please produce a one-page pitch so that I can give that to my boss so that they can see the value of this and also how much it would cost to deliver each module." I said, "Whoa, Absolutely, no problem. Thank you for that. So that's about the sort of outputs. So that kind of your
Yeah.
question about unexpected outputs is one of those.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's a sort of I don't know, a summary of some of the main challenges.
Some of them,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a given because, especially when you're working with different sectors, right? I mean, there are all these different challenges. Thanks for sharing that. I guess on to my next question, because you mentioned a few things there, about creating a meaningful impact, out of all these challenges that experience, that's the main thing. And the challenges, speaking of challenges, I guess now my next question is, how do you do that? How do you navigate these differences or the challenges through these to create a meaningful impact?
Well, you've got to have organizations right there from the beginning. You can't
Mm,
write a grant and then halfway down the road go, oh, we forgot to include all these other people
yeah.
as well. So you
Hmm.
must have not just academics, you've got to be thinking about who are the key NGOs in this area whose knowledge and expertise is going to be absolutely critical to getting the job done. Now, most of my research is implementation science research. So I'm keen on trialing interventions and
Right.
using all sorts of different, methods. But if I don't have the right providers in the room, and if I don't make an effort to try and engage the consumers or the people, the beneficiaries
Mm,
um, of these programs that I'm you know, broadly thinking of producing, because I can see a gap in the literature. So my job is to identify, do my data linkage work right, so understand the epidemiology, engage the right people round the table and ask them what would be the best way forward. So
mm,
I
yeah.
suppose it's having the right people right there, right from the beginning, um, and going on a journey with them and being flexible, and yeah, taking on. I think you've got to have courage. You've got to be courageous and brave, because
Yeah.
you can't work and just do. I appreciate that
Mm.
not all fund. We don't have this. I don't get Bill Gates grants, although I have worked on a Bill Gates $50 million Gates grant. That was unreal. Let me tell you.
You
Um,
have, okay.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it was like really so incredible. But so I'm now I'm
Great.
that was very unusual. I work more down the poorer end of town. So you've got to obviously be work within your means. Yet I think you've got to be um, as a researcher thinking about the long term gain. So
Mm,
not trying to do all the easy, short sort of term stuff to create meaningful impact. You've got to be thinking, okay, you've got to be strategic. So, what are the sorts of things that the community has been talking about that so my job is facilitation and bringing in expert research methods, and then
mm,
all my other experience that I have in the field. But I need to be listening to what the needs are, what the ideas are, and connecting those dots, and then presenting that back to communities and
mm,
providers across multiple sectors to say, hey, here is an idea where I've tried to connect these particular, if you like, phases or stages or ideas that could, in fact, be an attempt at a domino effect. So, that,
yeah.
of course, this is an experiment, and we learn as we go along. So, trying to, for those in the room that know what realistic research is, trying to be pragmatic but have the long term in mind. So, how can
Yeah.
I actually maybe look at the say, diabetes is an issue? The community have identified it. We know from all the service data, we know from the administrative data that this community is not actually getting the package of care that they deserve at primary care
Mm,
level. And there are very limited resources for them. It's not in their language, blah, blah, blah. So I can help with that needs assessment. but then I need the community to co-design that and take
Exactly. Yeah.
ownership and buy in, because if they don't, then I may as well just shout to myself in a room, because no one's going to be part of that activity if they
Yeah.
haven't been
Yeah.
involved in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, that 100%, like you said, I mean, there are a few things that, you mentioned there about connecting the dots, identifying those gaps and issues and having the right people, right organization, right, to then connect those gaps. So, yeah, so that's great. Thanks for that. I guess moving on to my next question is if you can share any story from your work, can be either in Australia or outside Australia, where the cross-sector collaboration led to an unexpected breakthrough in addressing a community need, perhaps, and what made it so successful. If you have a
Oh,
story to share, that would be great.
yeah, I
I
suppose
know there is one, perhaps, yeah, we'll don't
I
move
can
on
give
to
you
on.
a few sort of little vignettes that might be
Yeah,
helpful. So I already mentioned that Best Beginnings for Baby Parenting program. And I think one of the biggest challenges is we all, no matter where you sit, community, NGO, or academia, is we've all got short-term funding. And I talked about a different way, ways of connecting those dots. But actually, there recently, um, after a conversation about sustainability for this parenting program came about, we were scratching our heads to think, okay, so what are we going to do next? I mean, that we've done all of this work. There's been so much buy-in from the community. Consultation has been incredible, and the design is phenomenal. What are we going to do? We don't want to put this on a shelf. So
mm,
it just came to light that we had this conversation with this fabulous CEO of the Centre for Excellence in Perinatal Education, Nicole Higgett. And basically, she said, I've got this fabulous app. It follows parents it's for pregnant women and partners of parents and newborns up to 12 months and post birth. There's lots of topics. It's supporting their physical and emotional well-being throughout this period. But she said, I don't have anything for new arrivals, because Best Beginnings for Baby is being piloted with Ethiopian, Somali, Sudanese, and Eritrean people.
yeah,
And Nicole's work it has some multicultural kind of elements, but she basically said, "Hey, how about you creating a new edition alongside my app, where you harness the activities and things that we have developed already and plug those in to
mm,
this model. But much more than that is actually, because we just don't build a course. As we go along, when we do evaluation, well, we should be doing it like this, and I hope that I'm doing the right thing, is actually gathering people's reflections, people's comments, people's joy, people's conversations. What did this, in the moment, what did this parenting program actually achieve? What did people learn, and how did they support each other? So we've done our best to gather that real live data where people's lived experiences can be obviously de-identified, and we have ethical approval. So I'm not doing this, I'm not stealing things. I've already sought permission. But to plug those in to an existing program that can uplift and scale up something that's already there. So I think what I've learned from that is ensuring that that community need, which, by the way, one lovely quote is I'll share with you. Midway through, one of the Somali participants said, "Oh my goodness, I wish I had this course at the airport." So, just to be able to help connect each other and understand our systems and how to navigate the health system, the education system, but also
yeah,
learn about different um, social and cultural norms in Australia, and sort of bringing the best from their own country and adding that to the best of Australia's country. So we've got these beautiful quotes that we want to plug into this existing app. So I think that was a bit unexpected. I would also say what's out of this has been the community have have said, oh well, thank you for this course. We've now met people that we never knew before, and
Mm.
I'm a new parent, and I didn't know any other Ethiopian people,
Mm.
and now and we've learned that there's this community organization, St. Mary's Women's Ethiopian Association, and let's join together with the people involved in this association, and let's keep our mums group. They've developed their own mothers group out of this program. So I love these spin-offs.
Yeah.
So you
Hmm.
create something that's unexpected. But what I think is you need to keep your eyes on those things and how they actually add value and add meaning, because you want to be back to my original point about research shouldn't be one hit wonder projects. They should be connected and they should be constantly
Absolutely.
kind of building things up. But I want to
Yeah.
give a little vignette about OM. Now, OM is in our Health in a New Home. It's a National Health and Medical Research Council ideas grant
Yeah.
to understand the health and health assets of people of refugee background over time and over generations. And we have an expert panel, and OM is on that. And I'm most grateful to OM's wisdom in that panel. But out of this panel came an idea to actually do some training. So I'm used to often doing training for communities to build their research skills, to engage them in PhDs so that they can do their own research. But I love this because OM turned the tables on me and said, and I run a workshop for your researchers so that they can actually understand community-based research. So thank you, OM. That was the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's great that, how, did mention to me briefly about this project he's been working on with you, Health in a New Home, for refugees. So that's great to hear that. Perhaps, Omi, if you could share some insights about this project. I understand you've been working for the past year, with Angela
Well,
on this one. So if you can share your insights um, with us, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that would be
Bratin,
great.
thank you, Sarah. Like, one thing I want to start with is, I think, when we talked about this project, let me go back to the challenges that you're talking about. One of the ways I think Angela deals with the challenges is Angela is a person who doesn't sit in the university and does research in a little hole there. Now, when we were talking about Blacktown and the community here in Blacktown, uh, Angela brings the university to the community. So she has made many trips to Blacktown, comes out in the community and knows the community. I think that's one of the best ways to address these challenges, because we've got the universities like sitting out there, and we got communities here. There's very little connection sometimes when you actually doing some research, and to get into university is not, sometimes it can be daunting, but when the universities come to the community, it's so much easier. And that's what I love about Angela. I know it's not, for those of you who don't know where Blacktown is and where UTS is, it takes a good an hour more to make the commute, but Angela makes the time. I know how busy Angela is, but Angela makes the time to come out to the community and have a conversation in the cafe with different people. I know that really helps to know the community and do the research better. Secondly, I think I just want to touch on that as well. Like, when we talked about this, health in a new home project, it was about what I call bringing the content and the context experts together.
Yeah.
So we got the content experts sitting in the university. They know the content inside out. know how things work, and yeah, everybody that I was working with had a PhD except myself. So they are the content experts. But what we have done in this Health in a New Home project is Angela has been able to bring all these context experts in this advisory panel. So it's such a rich experience when we listen to the context experts, people who have lived through that experience, who know the local environment, who know the local community. And on the other hand, we got this passionate researchers, wanting to make a difference in people's lives. So we got this great combination to this project. So we're really hoping that this project is not confined to the project alone, but we will have a lot of learnings to share with the broader community. And that's the power of this platform as well, I think, because we got people from different sectors coming along here, and how we connect different sectors together to create something bigger. And my experience working with Angela has been just that, like how do we bring people, different stakeholders from different sectors? We don't care what sectors they are in, but if you have a common, interest in addressing an issue or addressing a challenge, then whether it's a corporate, somebody from the corporate sector, somebody from the academic sector, somebody from the grassroots community, we all come together to create something more meaningful. So
Yeah.
I think one of the key learnings, having worked with Angela, is hey, don't sit in the university, just go out, connect with the community. You academic don't have to be sitting there and having all your meetings in the university. Academics can come out and have your meetings in the community itself, and it's so much more. It makes things so much easier, but also there's an opportunity for academics to learn and vice versa.
That's
Yeah,
where all the good
absolutely.
food is, in the community.
There is 2x4 cafe in Fairwater. Isn't that fantastic?
I should go to that cafe. I've heard about the cafe a lot.
Everyone's
Each
welcome,
month.
like 2x4 cafe. It's fantastic. It's in Fairwater.
We should do our
And
next session,
yes,
maybe.
and we call that community a community of excellence. And a lot of people ask me, what does that mean? I say, just
Yeah.
go and ask each individual, whatever it means
Mm.
to them, it's that community of excellence. Again, we don't want to define excellence for everybody. We want everybody to have their say. So whatever it means to them, just walking their kids with other kids within the
Yeah.
community, or walking their
Uh-huh.
dogs around, the community, or having a say neighborhood, a clean neighborhood, green neighborhood. So it means different things to different people, but we call it a community of
The
excellence.
community, that's all about, yeah, community building. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I love what you said earlier, content experts and then the
And the
context
context expert.
context experts, bringing those together. Like, we have experts, and I think that's the whole goal of this group that we have here as well. Is I think we all can be a content expert, and context both, right? So it's about bringing all together, and then just learning from each other, our experiences, and sharing it and building a stronger and better community, right? It's all about and focusing on strength, really. So that's what it's all about. So thanks for sharing that, Om. So just
Thank you.
quickly, I guess, just keeping, yeah, the time. So just quickly, back to Angela, our last question, I guess, for those of us, I guess, in different roles, who are in, community leaders. I mean, in here, our participants as well. We have everybody come from different sectors, community leaders, public servants, NGO staff. What is one key mindset or action you recommend for successfully collaborating across sectors while maintaining impact and trust?
Well, I would say the one thing, and I'll describe what I mean, is having a strength-based mindset. Absolutely. So I think to get that mindset, it means that you've got to start with talking to communities and providers and asking them what matters. For me, it's like, what's keeping, people healthy here? Who do
Mm.
you turn to for advice?
Yeah.
What efforts have already made a difference? I'm not coming in and I don't want to reinvent wheels. I want to augment or strengthen what's here already.
Mm.
But I love
Mm.
to thank you, for reflecting on my, it's important to come out to the community, because I think that it's critical to work alongside people. Showing up and being present is like speaks a billion words.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
um, emphasize. And my background, I come from a health promotion, health, community development background. And so, I'm acutely aware that if you're not prepared to put in the effort to make things work, then you won't be rewarded. You have to negotiate. You have to be prepared to give and take, and you must be listening at all points. You must be thinking about okay, that's my agenda. I got to hold that and listen to what others say, because in that, you will learn things that
Yeah.
are incredible. And the bijous, the jewels that you receive from people in the community, the wisdom is phenomenal. So putting again, that's the strength-based mindset. What are people's, what's the knowledge of people and their, you know, what are their needs, and what can they contribute, and what's good, what's already happening. I just want to make a plug for the importance of cultural safety, because you won't get any of that. Sure, you can show up and what have you, but if you're not operating with those principles of cultural safety and communication, and actually being cognizant of people's literacy, both their digital, their health literacy, and their
Mm.
functional reading and writing literacy. But finally, I'll say, you've got to make, I have to make, all researchers must make an effort and not just turn words. So, I mean, the other day with the Somalis, I tried to say a few sentences in Somali that I'd learned myself online. It created a lot of laughter because, of course, it was incorrect and, mispronounced, and I was making a fool of myself. But in that moment was an acknowledgement that I had made an effort, because I did. I spent about half an hour on YouTube trying to learn and then put it in phonetics. But, other people are speaking English. Why should I not make an effort to come to the table? So I'll leave it there. Shukran.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you,
Thank you
Angela,
so
for
much. Yeah.
showing that vulnerability. A professor also can, struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, key takeaways there, like you said, just listening, being present, allowing that space for people to share, and you just be there to listen, and learn. So those are the key
And
takeaways that I
act.
took from that.
And act.
So thanks for, yes, and act. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. So thanks so much, Angela. With that, we're going to move on to our next section, which is, in the interest of time, we've got, so we might be running a bit little over. Hope that's okay with everybody. But we'll just do a quick breakout. We will go into a quick breakout session. How many we have actually? We might just maybe just two. We
Two,
might
yeah,
just need
two
two.
should be fine. Yeah.
We'll just quickly on that. I know some of you may have questions for Angela. We'll come to that a bit later after the breakout session. But for the breakout session, in relation to the topic and the storage and the insights that Angela shared, I guess the question is, if you could, share any story that may any resonate with you the most, and why. So just the discussion topic for our breakout session. So the question is, which collaboration story resonates most and why? So if you can discuss, that. Yes,
I just wanted to suggest, could we have just 5 minute breakout room so that people
yeah,
will
just
have
a
that
quick five
opportunity
minute.
to quick,
Yeah. Or we could
opportunity
just
to
do it
ask
here,
or
I
do it
think. We
here,
don't
maybe.
need, yeah,
Yeah,
let's not go into, we don't
yeah.
have, yeah, you only have that. So if there's anybody who would like to share um any story that
And then,
resonates with you,
yeah, I'm sure people may have some questions to Angela. So that would be a lot more beneficial
yes,
conversation, I guess.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Feel free to
Okay.
jump in and you may ask the question as well. So I think, yeah, anyone
There's a question in the chat.
in the chat? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes, there is. All right. Let's
Yeah.
have a look.
From
Uh,
Wenkin.
I have a
Uh-huh.
question to Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angela said that community duty is to action oriented, and Angela is their duty is she's doing a research. So that's good. And is there any way we can get those research what you have done with the communities? And is there any way we can do our own research? Is there any format or any questionnaires so we can go in our community and do research? Community have different issues in different stages. Like our community, my community, we have a issue from 1 year. We are here about 18 years. And from 1 to 5 years, there was different issues, different challenges. From 5 to 10 years, there was a different thing. And now, after 15 years, the young generation has come up. Those who were 5 to 10 years back in their before coming here, those below 7 and 6, and those who are born here are about 20 to 23 now. Between the 15 to, we have challenges to cope with them. They are, and we who are coming from back with our own culture from back our countries, we have different ways to deal with our people. And all people, they have their own system to deal in the cultural language or the religious way. So is there any way to research and bring those three generations together in a normal or in a smoother way, or what you suggest about that? Have you done any research on this, or is there any ways we can access those your data? Thank you.
Thanks, Puspa, for that. So first of all, if you wanted to know what I've done previously, we can certainly give you the links to the websites of the Health in a New Home. We can certainly give you the link to that and share that. And if you're interested in the other grants, I can share those. So that's the first thing. But with regard to your question about your desire to do research for yourself, absolutely. So there's a couple of ways. I'm not, for example, I don't know where you're from, Puspa, or what your community is, but in the project Health in a New Home, what we're doing is we're working with community members to through focus group discussions largely, or World Cafe formats, to basically try to articulate the resources and the assets that are in communities and understand how they are being used, if you like, to address various challenges, and also acknowledging that strength-based is important, but there are obviously some challenges that perhaps require additional resources. So I suppose what research can do, what I could do is through, if it was in a Health in a New Home project, is help you to articulate those and write that up, that can be used by you and your community to apply for, say, a community grant. Cumberland Council, for example, in Sydney, have community grants that you can connect with a community organisation. I don't know if you are in one already, Puspa, but if there's a community-based NGO then you could utilize that research and we could train you at the same time, give you some training and advice to work that project, that grant up to do your own research. That's one way of doing it.
Thanks. I think
Okay,
there is one question
I think that
on the
was
chat
from
as well from
Wenquin.
Wenkin.
So Wenquin asks, as you mentioned, engagement needs to start before you put together a funding proposal. I assume it continues after the funding cycle too, correct? I'm wondering if you could share some advice on how you communicate the importance of community engagement in research proposals. Oh, yes, Wenkin, I can definitely help you with that. There is some good advice from the National Health and Medical Research Council, actually, on framing co-design and consultation with communities, with people experiencing vulnerabilities as well. So we need to be cognizant of the sensitivities of engaging with particular people as well. So yes, I understand in engineering, it's the technical nature of some of your work may not relate to being in the grassroots, but I'm happy to talk with you after Wenquin and continue that conversation offline if you like.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I think this is where Angela was talking about earlier, like, how do we, get even researchers understand the importance of community engagement and how to do it as well. So we did this workshop with a lot of researchers at UTS, and that was really, really useful, and a lot of people found that useful. And what it does is you're actually, when you put in a research grant, you're already articulating why the importance of community engagement, and some aspect of even you're aware of how to do it as well. So that becomes very powerful.
So I think you need to get down to RMIT, Faculty of Engineering, to give a course. Wenquin, maybe you want to talk to your Associate Dean of Research about having visit you. That's another idea.
Thank you.
I have a small question, maybe. I would like to venture.
Yes,
If I may. Okay, sorry. Okay, I hope it's not. I hope it's relevant because I really liked some things that Angela said about communication. Just to clarify your earlier question to me, what I do is I wasn't quite prepared, but I do work with a lot of startup entrepreneurs, big business owners, government representatives across Southeast Asia, and military. Okay, that might seem, the military part might seem a little odd, but what we're talking about here is centers that coordinate communications between navies, for example. We have a lot of problems in Southeast Asia and surrounding region with piracy, slavery at sea, and so on. Really bad problems. So very necessary to coordinate and communicate. And what I found working with all of these people is that. And this goes back to, I think, what Angela is saying to some degree here, and also Puspa talking about, doing our own research in communities, because communities are involved and impacted by these activities, is two things. One is supporting the entrepreneurship within communities. That always gives people value. It's so important to communities. But one thing that is sort of been a common thread through all of this that I've noticed and have sort of dedicated myself to improving and helping are the core. It always comes back to core communication skills, doesn't it, Angela? You're talking about, listening. Okay, we mentioned listening and being able to, how do we emphasize the importance of this? How do we bring going into the community? I think like was talking about going into the community. You're talking about learning some phrases, local language and things. Yeah, of course. And but again, this always comes back to these core communication skills. So I guess my question here then is when we're talking, you mentioned training to Puspa, I think, and that must involve training, university researchers, community researchers, and bringing together people in any kind of community, and also how can we say across demographics, like Puspa mentioned, or across industries. Across industries, am I speaking clearly here? A long time. Yeah, across industries. What I guess my question is, is the training emphasizing these kinds of core communications? We're talking about presentation, negotiation, right? These are core skills. It could be writing. I mentioned earlier some email issues, and and so on. And so because the underlying idea here is that all business, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, is based on communication. If we can't sort that out, we really have nothing. It can only be as good as our communication.
I think there's one other thing in the mix, and it's attitudes. Yeah. I think attitudes, respect, and willingness to having respectful relationships and embracing difference. I think those sorts of and valuing difference, valuing the resources of others. I think those are attitudinal.
Intrapersonal.
But it's more than just being able to talk to someone and being able to phrase something in the right way. It's actually where your head is at. So yes, those things should be implicit in or explicit, I should say, in embedded and explicit in training programs. I think it's respect for our culture and recognizing those as assets too, because they are these saying a few words in the language. I know it sounds a bit trivial.
Oh, that's very good.
But in the bigger picture is your commitment and your you're signing up to be involved in this for the long term, not just because it suits you, because you earn a few bucks and it's a step on the in the academic road to being a professor. I think it's attitudinal things that are critical, but it's also not everyone's going to be good at those skills as what the communication skills that you talk about. Even as much as you try and coach and train or whatever, I think our job is also to identify the stars in the landscape and take those under your wing and bring those people with you. I've just realized I have to go actually to a meeting. So I'm going to have to leave you now. I'm terribly sorry.
It's all right. I know Yeah. It's already 1 p.m. So
thanks, Angela. On that note,
thank you, Angela.
Yeah, I think on that note, I think one thing we want to emphasize is we are neither dependent nor independent. We are interdependent. And I think that's where the value of this platform comes in, because we bring in different, expertise here, because not one person is equipped with all expertise. So again, we want to emphasize that we are neither dependent nor independent. We are interdependent. And thank you, Angela. I'm sure, Sara, you want to thank Angela for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. I know you have to rush, so all I want to say is thank you.
I know how busy you are.
Appreciate it. So we'll let you go now.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Yes, we will hang on another 5 minutes. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah, quickly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you for joining from Thailand, from Bangkok.
Oh no, along the coast.
Okay.
Yeah, who was joining us from Thailand?
That would be me.
Right. Yes. Yeah, Wayne. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I got confused with Wenky and Wayne.
Okay. So Wenky is
yes, I did too, actually.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Sounds similar.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Thanks for joining. But just quickly, there was just a call to action that we just posted there. It's just again, that's you may not want to do it, but after the session, just reach out to
In terms of after the sorry. In terms of after the session, how do we reach out? What is the?
We have a group.
Okay, I'm in the group. Okay,
yeah, the
got
Facebook
it.
group.
Okay.
You can reach out through
Yeah,
that,
got it.
and
Okay.
feel free. That's for everybody, and that's what I was going to get to. Is you can post anything, any sort of stories, quick insights, anything you want to share. And again,
regarding
the call to action regarding anything.
Okay.
It's more, yeah,
Novi,
that's relevant for the group, right?
I see that Sara. Okay.
When nobody's
Go
going to share the community link here, so if
Okay,
you are
I
not
think
already a member of the community,
Yeah.
again, that's a place where we can have that conversation. So, Nobi, if you can quickly share the link for the community group. If you are not already joined the group, you can do that, and we'll continue the conversation.
Yeah. So outside of this session, that's how we connect. Sorry.
Okay, I see in the chat that Zada asked about a group chat in Messenger, but I think that I understand that Messenger is going to stop those groups, aren't they? Haven't you received news about that? I think so, but I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
That's what I heard. There's a lot of groups that mentioned that they're shutting down their individual group chats, not groups, but the group chats is what I've understood. So I don't know if that'd be.
Yeah,
somebody might look into that. That's what I understood. But
yeah,
I think
with the chat,
group
Jara,
chat stays, but the individual ones will disappear.
What was that?
What is it? I'm sorry, Jade.
There's an individual. The individual group chats will disappear, but the main group will stay.
Oh yeah, the group will stay.
Individual ones. Oh,
yeah,
really?
you know how when you visit a group chat about, say, a suburb, and then within that group chat there are individual chats like marketplace or art galleries or events. Those individual ones will disappear, but not the main group chat.
Not the main. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's
hopefully not, because
thanks, Jade.
there's a lot of valuable information there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just to, I guess,
good
to
news.
answer
Thank
your
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Zara, to answer your question, we could do that. We have, because we have because this session's mainly for the members of the community group, right? So we have sort of started posting the Zoom links on our Facebook community, like the group page. And we also, I don't know, Novi, if we did it this time, we were going to send like the links via email to those who who registered to the session.
Yeah.
So I think, did we do that or not this time? So I mean, if it helps and if we feel that works better, we could have a messenger, but we're trying to have too many sort of I guess ways to share this, right? Otherwise, there's just going to be too many places.
I think our community group is the best place for that sort of the chat and discussions, because once you join the strength-based leadership community group, I think that's where we can have the conversation.
That's where we can have all the conversation, all the links and all that. We're working on improving, making improvements in this. And I know it seems like there's still the links, having the right Zoom links is still an issue for some of the, I guess, some of the people. So we'll look into that further as to how we can, improve that.
And I think,
and we have Dinah,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying we have Dinah.
Some of people was saying that we are not getting the email. How to join the group. I said maybe this could help them.
I see. Got it. We have a third party, who actually does all this for us. So we're still working with them. So we'll we'll flag these issues with them again. And hopefully for next session, it would be better.
And we'll need some support, help from you, Jara, and like when whoever has experienced some challenges. we would love to hear from you so that we will go back to our back-end providers to see to address them. So we would love to get any challenges we had and feedback.
Correct.
So any of those feedback would really help us to go back to our back-end provider and help address.
Absolutely. One of the other requests that we've made to them is to perhaps send the link via text. So, these days, a lot of people, we have quick and easy access to our phone. And if we get the links via text, it's just a matter of clicking the link and then joining the session, right? So we're looking into that as well, perhaps, so to see if that maybe is better.
Wrap up, can we get everyone to say a quick sort of your
I was going to quickly.
I think
Yes. And I was going to quickly welcome, say hello to Diana as well. I've known she's actually our next guest. She's here with us. I don't know. Has she left? Oh, no.
Hello,
she's
Diana.
Here.
I'm here.
Hello.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Diana.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the invite. And it's amazing to be here.
Okay.
It's good to have you here. So we'll, explore more in our next session.
Yeah, looking forward to see you guys in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
yes,
2 weeks.
We
Yes,
have
absolutely.
Session, so,
right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. Any
takeaways from anybody? Takeaway from today, anyone who hasn't spoken, you would like to share any key takeaway from the session today? You can unmute yourself and share that.
Yeah, just jump in.
I think what Angela and Wayne mentioned earlier were very important. Communication, being able to tell the story of why you need this funding and why you need to describe your story. I think that's the biggest challenge in the community at the moment, to describe your the reason why you're applying for funding, the reason why your organization exists, the reason why you're starting a language school. I think that's been the biggest challenge, to convince sometimes our politicians why this organization needs it more than another organization. Because like I met some of the community groups who approached me about starting a language school, because I started a Filipino language school here in Western Sydney, and they were asking, how do you start one? Where do I go? And it wasn't just a language they wanted to, the main language of country, but they wanted to teach a language that was specific to a region in their motherland that was slowly disappearing. They wanted to bring that language here to Australia. I mean, they have local speakers of that language, but they want to be able to teach the next generation to speak that language. And I won't mention which community, but it's not just that community, but there are other communities that have unique languages in their motherland, their own country. Like, for example, I was born in the Philippines, but I grew up here in Blacktown. The main language over there that's spoken is Tagalog and Bisaya, but there are languages within the Philippines that are unique to a region, to an island, that that we don't even have a writing style for it, or a way to express those. There's no equivalent words in Tagalog or Bisaya or in the English language that are used within that island. So that's just an example. We have a lot of unique languages around the world that we need to find a way to preserve. And I think being able to tell that story, to apply for funding, to preserve those languages is important. So again, going back, is communication and storytelling. That's what my takeaway from Wayne and Angela earlier. That's very important.
Jade, could I mention something as a compliment to what you're saying there, if you don't mind? And I don't want to dominate the conversation anyway. I really,
It's okay.
I am somebody who talks too much. And this is something that goes back to what Angela said, self-awareness. That you have, intrapersonal communication is just as important as interpersonal. You really, you can't have one without the other. But Jade, what I want to mention, you're talking about the reasons why. Now, this is the intersection here where I find that a lot of nonprofits, or not only nonprofits but agencies are seeking funding. Okay, an intersection here between this and the world of sales. And unfortunately, a lot of people, I meet them, artists, academics as well, sometimes think themselves a bit too above that sort of thing. Let's put it that way. When you want to get money from people, okay, and we're talking about, let's just speak really frankly here, okay, if I may. Yes, reason why, of course, we do need that. But another thing we need to show is outcomes. We need to show, what are going to be the results of this. And this comes, directly from, these are tried and true, what do we say? Tried and true, tried and true methods for hundreds of years. We get the results through return on investment. Okay, we get the results of what works and what doesn't work. Okay, what works is we show them why we're doing it. Of course, you have to know why, and that has as much to do with personal motivation as well. To keep it going on. We've got to keep going on. But we need to show the outcome, what are going to be the results, and how that benefits your audience. So you're getting funding from, let's say, I don't know, I don't know who, I don't know what agency, what you're getting funding for, but how do these results benefit them or their view in the long term? It's not just benefiting me. You have to kind of go beyond your own goals. Okay, your own why to reach their why, and how can that be shown as an outcome that's desirable to them? If I made myself clear on that, okay, yeah.
Thank you, Wayne.
Okay,
so it's not just us saying why, but how it, So I hope that helps too.
That's valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, thank you. We'll probably leave it at that. So thank you everyone for joining again. So we do run these sessions every fortnightly. So we do have keynote speakers for every sessions, and this is basically what the format is. We're trying to then go into breakout rooms where we need it and where we feel it's necessary and all that. But this is basically, so if I would like to sort of, on behalf of OM and Nobi, thank you everyone, and then would like to also encourage you all to join us again in our next session, and extend invites to your connections who may be able to add value, who may see value in joining sessions. Please do extend our invites, and we would like to see this community grow. And I guess the only motto we have is to really bring the strength we all have. We believe that every individuals have their own strength, and would like to focus on strength of each individuals and bring them together in helping, I guess, share those strength with the community and really help learn from each other, and grow basically. So thank you again, and hope you enjoy this session. And before I wrap it up, you have anything to say?
I just want to say thank you and look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time, and extend the invitation to your friends and colleagues who may benefit from this. And let's keep growing the community, and let's come back to the community group. We got strength-based leadership community group where we can have further conversation, continue the conversations. Jara, you're talking about having that conversation. Let's come back to the own like strength-based leadership community group. We've got over 70 something members
We've got
there.
80,
So
over 80
over
now.
80
We've got people
members
waiting
now.
there as well.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a really good community already. We've got people from diverse background there. Let's continue to have that conversation in that group and grow the group further.
Yeah, we're seeing
And
growing. Yeah, we're seeing growing interest into our group. We also just want to point out, we want to make sure we, I don't know if letting in is the right word. We want to make sure we have the right people in the group, you know. So there's some questionnaires in there. You know, you don't have to answer all the questions, but anything that, you know, you feel relevant, feel free to. I think would encourage you to answer those questions that would help us, I guess, identify the right people, you know, right member in the group. So that's one of the reasons why we have those questionnaires in there as well.
Yeah, and because you're based in Thailand, I think if we get connected, let's keep talking about it, and then I'm sure there'll be opportunities for us to have this conversation further. So really thank everyone for joining, and let's continue the conversation. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.